intensify efforts to vaccinate frontliners, including media practitioners.
Good afternoon, I'm Carlos. You're watching Updates at noon. The implementation of Targeted Movement Control Order, or MCO, in several localities in Kuala Lumpur is seen as an appropriate approach for the federal capital to deal with COVID-19. Well, Federal Territories Minister Tan Sri Anwar Musa said in the Special National Security Council, or MKN, meeting on COVID-19, which was chaired by Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin yesterday, well, several state governments have requested for the re-implementation of the Movement Control Order, the MCO, due to the increase in the number of COVID-19 cases. Tan Sri Anwar said MKN would study in depth the request from the state governments by taking into account various factors.
Ada beberapa lokaliti, tetapi kita harap kita juga diletakkan nanti secara PKP bersasar. Ini bermakna kita akan tengok di mana kawasan dan tempat yang perlu diperketatkan PKP, kita akan perketat.
The minister also said that through the special MKN meeting, the state government listens to advice from experts or professional groups from various angles on how they should handle COVID-19. He also said that there is no specific formula to manage COVID-19 because it is very unique and the government has to use a different method for each wave and phase. Meanwhile, a total of 400 Asanaf, that's eligible tithe recipients in Putrajaya, received cash donations and food baskets through the program, which, among others, aimed at sharing with the less fortunate the excitement of celebrating Eid al-Fitr. The program was organized through a strategic collaboration between the Federal Territories Ministry through the Putrajaya Corporation, PPJ, and Media Terima Group, as well as Yayasan Wilayah Persekutuan. Well, efforts to administer COVID-19 vaccines to frontline personnel, including media practitioners and their families, should be intensified. And Deputy Communications and Multimedia Minister Dato' Zahidi Zainal Abidin said this was because there were some workers in the frontliner category who have yet to receive their vaccine jabs.
Kita lihat sekarang ni usaha perlu ditingkatkan lagi lah untuk membantu masa depan, di mana kebanyakan mereka ni masih belum mendapat vaksin lagi. Vaksin masih belum mendapat vaksin lagi, jadi kita lihat bahawa di Malaysia ni kita lihat bahawa usaha perlu digandakan lagi, terutamanya barisan depan untuk mereka mendapat vaksin dan juga untuk keluarga mereka, untuk diri mereka dan keluarga mereka, dan ini peranan ni harus dimainkan oleh kerajaan.
The Deputy Minister said this after officiating the handing over of COVID-19 prevention kits to frontliners' households at Angkasapuri yesterday. The program, organized by the World Society of Sport and Exercise Medicine, WSSEM, will distribute between 500 and 1,000 personal health kits, including face masks and hand sanitizers, to frontliners throughout the country. For a start, the kits would be distributed to media practitioners who are always committed to providing news reports to the people of Malaysia. Besides that, Dato' Zahidi said the appreciation message for Frontline Heroes program would continue, although COVID-19 infection in the country drops to a minimum level. Well, those selected to perform the Hajj this season will be given the Pfizer-BioNTech and AstraZeneca vaccines as they have been approved by Saudi Arabia. Well, Minister and Prime Minister's Department for Religious Affairs, Dr. Zulkifli Muhammad Al-Bakri, said his ministry had held discussions with the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, MOSTI, on the matter. Well, elaborating further on the matter, Dr. Zulkifli said it was decided that all pilgrims selected to perform the Hajj this year will be getting the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, but if the supply is insufficient, the AstraZeneca vaccine will also be used. Meanwhile, when asked about the standard operating procedures or SOPs for Umrah and Hajj pilgrimage, Dr. Zulkifli said the matter would be brought to the National Security Council after Saudi Arabia has made a decision on allowing the pilgrimage. Saudi Arabia has yet to make any decision on the Hajj and Umrah pilgrimage for this season, and the country only recognizes the Pfizer-BioNTech and AstraZeneca vaccines for COVID-19. The Enhanced Movement Control Order, EMCO, in 5 localities in Hulu Besut, Terengganu, and 1 in Machang, Kelantan ended today as scheduled. And Senior Minister for Security, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob, said the 5 localities in Hulu Besut involved Kampung Balau, Kampung PPRT Balau, Kampung Keruak, Kampung Paksik, and Felpra Keruak. Well, the one in Machang involves Mahad Tahfiz Al-Quran wa Qiraat, or MTAQ, Pulai Chendro. Now, meanwhile, the minister noted that Taman Tanah Putih Baru in Kuantan, Pahang, would be placed under the EMCO from 5th to 18th May following a spike in COVID-19 cases in the locality. Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said in Hulu Besut, the Ministry of Health, the MOH, informed that there is a downward trend in COVID-19 cases and the clusters are under control, while the last case was recorded on 20th April, which involved 4 positive cases who have all been treated, and all the close contacts have also completed their 14-day observation period. At the MTAQ, the MOH confirmed a drop in the number of cases and the clusters that were under control, with the last 16 cases recorded on 30th April. Well, as of 2nd May, the MOH has recorded 11 cases out of 40 screenings carried out on the residents in the area, with 29 more samples still awaiting results. Police arrest lorry driver without road tax for 12 years. Well, Malaysia Airlines Berhad yesterday stressed that its flights mounted between 1st and 3rd May from India did not carry any passengers other than the flight crew who remained on board during transit. Well, as a further precaution, the airline also did not allow any ground maintenance personnel in India to enter its aircraft. Well, in a statement released yesterday, Malaysia Airlines said the flights mounted during the period of 1st to the 3rd of May from India were full cargo flights, utilizing Malaysia Airlines' passenger to cargo, or P2C, aircraft carrying freight comprising pharmaceutical goods, medical supplies, mobile phones, electrical components, and courier packages. Well, since the country imposed a temporary ban on entry of Indian nationals into Malaysia on 28th April, the airline said it has cancelled all its scheduled Well, welcome back, and we apologize for the technicalities we're facing. Well, a man who tried to evade detection for driving a lorry without a valid road tax for 12 years was caught at the Teluk Intan Toll Plaza of the West Coast Expressway during Perdagangan, which is near Teluk Intan, yesterday. The lorry carrying oil palm fruit bunches was among 10 heavy vehicles detained in the operation for various offences, including overloading and having bald tires. Well, the operation, which began at 8 a.m., was conducted by the Hilir Perak District Police Headquarters and the Perak Police Contingent Headquarters, Traffic Enforcement and Investigation Department, along with Road Transport Department, the JPJ personnel at several locations around Teluk Intan and Hulu Malintang. And Hilir Perak District Police Chief ACP Ahmad Adnan Basri said inspections revealed that some vehicles were overloaded, besides having other traffic offences, including not possessing a valid road tax for 12 years.
Kita nak mencegah daripada berlaku kemalangan-kemalangan lain. Apabila lori ini membawa muatan yang lebih, dia akan terdedah untuk berlaku kemalangan-kemalangan, menyebabkan khasnya kepada pengguna-pengguna jalan raya yang menggunakan kenderaan-kenderaan kecil seperti motosikal dan juga kenderaan kereta biasa ni.
Speaking to reporters, ACP Ahmad Adnan said the police seized 5 heavy vehicles for permit misuse, operating during permit suspension and not possessing driving licenses, and issued 5 summonses, while the JPJ issued another 5 summonses. The case will be investigated under Section 57 of
subsection 1 of the Land Public Transport Act 2010 for overloading and the Road Transport Act 1987. Meanwhile, State JPJ Enforcement Division Assistant Director Ahmad Tarmizi Saad said the heavy vehicle without valid road tax for 12 years also did not have an operator's license for the company and carrier's license for vehicles. Well, 3 local fishermen were rescued after their boat capsized following a collision with a hard object in the waters of Pantai Sanglang, Kuala Kedah yesterday morning. And Kuala Kedah Maritime Zone Director Nur Azrianti said the victims, namely Abdullah Yaakob, 46, and 2 crew members, Muhammad Afifi Roslan, 28, and Muhammad Kamarul Arifin Zulkifli, age 25, were saved by another fishing boat at 3.5 nautical miles west of the beach. Well, commenting further on the incident in a statement released, Nur Azrianti said the victims were said to have gone out to sea in a fishing vessel at about 8 p.m. on Sunday. And around 4 a.m., the boat was believed to have leaked after hitting a hard object like wood while the boat was heading to the sea. The boat then began to capsize and the victims tried to save themselves with all available equipment. She also said the Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency, the MMEA, received a report on the incident at about 7:18 a.m. and mobilized a search and rescue mission with the help of local fishing boats. Well, all the victims experienced fatigue but did not sustain any injuries, and they were brought to Kuala Kedah Maritime Zone jetty before being allowed to return to their respective homes. Well, 2 workers suffered injuries and burns after a ship carrying a load of diesel caught fire in an incident in the waters of the Harbour Trade Centre, Gut Lebuh McCallum, near Georgetown yesterday. Well, Pulau Pinang Fire and Rescue Department Director Saadun Mokhtar said they received a call at 4:02 p.m. before rushing to the scene. Upon arrival, the fire and rescue team found that the fire involved a local cargo ship carrying diesel and that there were 2 workers inside while 2 other men who also worked there had managed to escape. The fire and rescue team managed to rescue the 2 men, with one of them in his 30s suffering burns on 90% of his body, while his 50-year-old friend suffered head injuries.
Makluman kapal ni membawa diesel sebanyak 150,000 liter. Jadi tindakan pantas oleh bomba dapat menyelamatkan kawasan repair kapal yang ada.
The 2 victims, who are locals, were sent to Pulau Pinang Hospital for further treatment. 50 firefighters from the fire and rescue stations in Lebuh Pantai, Jalan Perak, Bagan Jermal and Bayan Baru were assisted by the volunteer firefighters in the area in the operation, and the fire was brought under control at 4:44 p.m. The fire and rescue department is still monitoring the section of the ship to ensure there is no fire, while the cause of the fire and the total loss is still under investigation. Well, the Ministry of Human Resources, KSM, has launched the Working for Workers, WFW application, a platform for 15.7 million workers, including foreign workers, to submit complaints related to labour issues. Minister Dato Sri M. Saravanan gave assurance that the identity of the complainants would be confidential, adding that the complaints received via the application would be addressed between 3 and 7 days. Speaking to the media after launching the WFW application in conjunction with 2021 Labour Day, Dato Saravanan said the status of the complaints would be monitored by KSM's top management, including himself and his deputy, Dato Awang Hashim. He said that WFW is a medium to ensure the rights and welfare of workers affected by employers' misconduct are protected, and this can indirectly ensure employers and employees comply with national labour laws.
Dengan adanya aplikasi ini, kita bolehlah warga pegawai kerja terus menghubungi pihak kementerian melalui aplikasi ini tanpa memaklumkan identiti mereka. Identiti mereka akan dijaga. Itu yang penting. Yang kedua, kita akan dapat real time information, sama ada gaji tak bayar ke, tempat tinggal tak bersesuai dan sebagainya.
The minister added that the WFW is proof that the government is serious and transparent in handling labour issues. WFW allows workers to report 14 types of complaints online that will be managed by 80 labour officers nationwide.
Well, car maker Proton Holdings Berhana Proton sold 15,017 units of cars in April, a 0.18% increase month on month and equivalent to an estimated market share of 26.7%. Proton, in a statement yesterday, said its performance in April marked the third consecutive month of sales growth. Well, overall, Proton continued to strengthen its hold on the second position in the sales ranking, stable with market share for the year estimated at 24.4%, while overall volume now stands at 47,843 units for the first 4 months of the year. Well, the statement also said that the evergreen Proton Saga returned to the top of the national sales chart with 5,472 units sold in April. As for its sport utility vehicle or SUV models, the Proton X50 recorded 3,583 units delivered in April, while the Proton X70 saw a total of 2,101 units delivered. Proton ADAR Chief Executive Officer Roslan Abdullah said April was a good month for the automotive industry, noting that aside from Proton, several other car brands also experienced their best sales month for the year to date. He said the total industry volume is estimated to be over 56,000 units, as all brands are trying to fulfill sales orders before the expiry of the National Economic Regeneration Plan Punjana sales tax incentives at end June. Well, mixed doubles shuttler Goh Liu Ying and archer Khairul Anwar Muhammad have been given the honor of being Malaysia's flag bearers at the Tokyo Olympics, to be held from July 23rd to August 8th. Well, Olympic Council of Malaysia OCM President Tan Sri Muhammad Norzah Zakaria said this would be the first time that the country would have 2 flag bearers at the Olympics.
After taking into consideration various factors, the EB has selected Ms. Goh Liu Ying from badminton and Mr. Khairul Anwar bin Muhammad from archery as a flag bearer for the Malaysian contingent at the Olympic Games 2020.
He said this in a press conference after chairing the meeting at Wisma OCM yesterday. Liu Ying, 31, ranked 7th in the world with partner Chan Peng Soon, will be making her second Olympic appearance in Tokyo after the pair won a silver medal at Rio 2016. Recurve archer Khairul Anwar, 29, who is the 2019 World Archery Championship silver medalist and also the first Malaysian archer to be given the honor of being the flag bearer, will be vying for his first podium finish after featuring in the 2012 London and 2016 Rio editions. The former men's singles world number 1 shuttler Dato' Lee Chong Wei was the flag bearer at the Rio Games, while diving queen Pandalela Rinong and ace track cyclist Muhammad Azizul Hasni Awang had the honor of carrying the Malaysian flag at the 2012 London and 2008 Beijing editions respectively. On another note, Tan Sri Muhammad Norzah said that OCM would organize a workshop for all the athletes, coaches, national sports associations and relevant stakeholders involved in the Tokyo Olympics so as to enhance preparations following the latest playbook release by the organizers, which includes stricter safety measures to curb the COVID-19 outbreak. He said the measures will be very strict under the bubble concept and movements of athletes will be very limited as they can't even go to nearby towns.
The prohibition of movement of the athletes. Yeah, you can't even go to nearby, town of shops or whatever. Yeah. So you are limited into the bubble concept. Yeah, essentially it's a bubble concept now. But what we're insisting that the bubble should start before we embark. Before we fly, that's why there are discussions just now what kind of mode of transportation that we want to take, whether it's a chartered flight, a normal flight.
Commenting on the below-par performances of the national divers at the ongoing World Cup in Tokyo, Tan Sri Muhammad Norzah said the divers were still coming to terms with adapting to the competitive environment, as this was their first tournament since training and competitions were halted by the pandemic for more than a year. He, however, hoped that they would reach peak form by July. Tan Sri Muhammad Norzah also said that the 2021 Vietnam Sea Games Organizing Committee had confirmed a final list of 40 sports and 526 events, which will see 28 events introduced and 30 events scrapped. And it's the top of the table clash on how Kedah Darul Aman FC or KDA FC skipper Badrul Bakhtiar and head coach Adil Sharin Sahak wish they could have their loyal fans present at the Darul Aman Stadium tonight when they take on Johor Darul Takzim JDT. Well, as things stand, only 1 point separates both teams, with reigning champions JDT leading the standings with 24 points after 11 matches. Unfortunately for KDA FC, they will have to try to stop JDT in an empty stadium after Kota Star and 4 other districts in the state were placed under the Movement Control Order, the MCO, from 1st to the 14th of May to curb the spread of COVID-19. And according to Badrul, the absence of fans will affect them a little as they feed on their support. He coined that, in fact, there have been so many times where KDA FC managed to snatch last gasp victories from the jaws of defeat. Met yesterday with or without the supporters, he said they'll still have to take to the field. Aidil, meanwhile, admitted that football meant nothing without the fans, although added that it won't break their spirit. He added his players are highly motivated after their 3-1 win over Malacca United last Friday. And that's it from us this afternoon. Our top story: implementation of targeted MCO appropriate for Kuala Lumpur. Thanks for watching. I'm Mohammed Amin Carlos, and you do take care. Bye for now.